Hi, this is Justin with More Business Today. In this video, I'm going to explain how to edit the text on your site. This is probably the most common thing that you'll do on your site is edit and add and remove text. So we'll cover those. The first thing is that in order to edit the text, you click on it, then you can choose Edit Text. I should note you can double click, but it doesn't do anything. So you need to make sure that you do click on it once and edit text. And typing in here is pretty straightforward. It's just like a little editor. You can do a few things through this tool here, this toolbar. You can bold text, bold. You can underline text. I don't recommend that. One note, and this is just a web design note, if you underline something on a website, people are going to think it's a link. So you shouldn't underline things that aren't links. You can change the font color. And you see that it'll have whatever the theme colors are, like some suggested colors, but you can click over here, and then in here you can choose a color, and then you can move this little circle around to, so like if I want a shade of blue, then I can hit blue over here, and then I can drag it around and I can get a shade. You can see it shows me the shade here. Done. See, like that. It was too dark to really notice the difference, but we'll make a light blue. Again, blue is another one where people might think it's a link, but less than with the underline. You can change the font size. You can change what kind of or the font weight. So this is a little more finite control than you have with bold. It's the same concept as bolding, really, but you actually have a few different weights that you can choose. So you can do an extra bolded, or you can actually do a lighter. So see how much less black is on the text that way. Yeah, I wouldn't use that personally, but you certainly could if you wanted to. You're gonna add a lit. This changes the line, the spacing. Again, I don't really recommend doing this too much, but you could certainly increase the spacing. It's going to increase the spacing for the whole paragraph, even if you highlight, or the whole block that you're editing. It might be multiple paragraphs or not. And then you can do a bullet list. One of the most useful things, a lot of times you'll end up with a bullet list. 1, 2, that you've copied over. And when you copy it over, you don't have the bullets or anything, you just end up with this. And then you can highlight that, and you can actually click on the bullet list or the numbered list, and it'll convert it into a bullet. You can go to the bottom and hit enter, and it makes another bullet, just like in anything, just like in Word or your email program. And you can hit tab, and you can have a sub item. You can hit shift tab to go back. Again, that's very similar to Word. I said Word, and so I typed Word. And then in the same respect as I mentioned in the overview, you have an undo option here. And so that's going to be specific to typing. And I should note too, I don't believe that this undo would do anything. If I hit this undo right now, because I haven't hit the checkbox that saves this settings, if I move away from this, well, it'll still save it, but I don't know what would happen if I hit undo. I guess I could try and see. Yeah, that's what I thought. It undid all of the changes that I just made. So you want to hit the undo that's on the bar when you're editing text, and you just want to undo the last thing that you did. Another note that I should put into this is that if you don't want to copy directly from Word, or if you do copy directly from Word, when you paste it in, then choose paste as plain text. And I'll show you one more trick here. So let's say you've done a lot of changes, or you copied this from another page. You could hit the, it works best if you highlight it all, clear formatting, and it'll clear all the formatting in the paragraphs and everything. It clears all the formatting out of there. So it kind of is a good reset. But you do have to have the text highlighted, otherwise it just goes by paragraph. So that's a little bit odd, some of those things where they go by paragraph, and some things that affect the whole block. The other thing you can do is you can center stuff. Center like that. And then you can also create a link. I'm going to do a separate video on a link, but I will go ahead and show you a little bit of functionality on it right now. You just highlight the text that you want to become a link. So if you were starting from scratch, you go, okay, well, I want to add a link to my favorite band. You highlight it, and you can put a link, and then you can do a website URL. And the website URL, and you can see it's grayed out. You can see, but it needs to have the full URL in there. And I recommend that if it's a link like this, a website link where it's going off your site, then that you check the box that says open a new window, so they're not leaving your site. Now, if instead this was a page on our existing site, we can just hit existing site and then choose the page that it is. Let's say it's services, and then also you can open a pop-up, link to file. Like I said, I'm going to cover that in a different video, but I wanted to show you how that works. And then if you click away from it, which includes saving those boxes sometimes, then you have to click on it again and hit edit. So that's editing the text. Removing text is really easy. Removing, blocks of text is really easy. You just hit the red X here. Adding text we do through the add element, and then one of the very first one is paragraph, and so you just drag that where you want it to be. It says here's a new paragraph. You put in some text. Hit check, and there you've added a paragraph. Now we'll get into some more advanced stuff that'll help you sometimes, which is you can also copy it. So if you just click on it once, one of your options is copy. Now once I've copied it, I can click over. I'd actually even click on the same thing again, I believe, and hit paste. You have to click somewhere where you have a menu, and then it'll paste in another instance of it. I click over here and see I'm in the column. You see it's bringing up the column information here. But if I hit paste, it'll paste the paragraph in. Should also note that this is drag and drop, so you can drag the elements into different spots. And then the other thing that I wanted to show you on here is you can use pull content. And what pull content does is it allows you to grab content from a URL. This is obviously for one that you own, where you've posted information, you want to add it. Now there are some search engine reasons not to use exactly the same content, but if you're going from an old site to a new site, or if those search engine things don't bother you, then you could do it that way. And in this regular view, the website view, then you can play around with putting your mouse in different spots. It'll highlight different amounts of content. And I'm just going to do a paragraph to show you that. But when you click on it, you hit use this, and see it added the paragraph with the image in it. Now, along the same lines, pull content. You can also do text only, and the text only will pull up all the same content, but it'll just be text only, as you'd imagine. And then you can highlight stuff that you want to have in there. So I want to have this in there, and you can choose use this. And you can see that I added it in there. So I don't know if the pull content might be a little advanced. I can't imagine that you need to use it a lot, but it is a trick that you can use to grab content. I think it's probably better to just copy it and paste it, but the text editing portion of our video series here wouldn't be complete without including that. Oh, I should note too that you can, going back to the copy, if you hit copy, you can actually go into a whole different page. And hit paste. And again, we can just drag it into different places. So that's nice. If you have a block of text or something that you're putting in every page, you can go through and copy it and then just go to every page and paste it in. So that's pretty straightforward. I think that's all for text. If you have any questions, always feel free to call or email, and I will get you all hooked up with the right information. Thanks.